Okay, so I've decided to try and get a bit more methodical with my recordings, and so I'm going to give a bit of background of what I'm doing, and then I'm going to go through some details on the latest version of Node Noggin, which is the practice part of my PhD process, and I'll also give a bit of background into other things so that this is quite a catch-up video. I haven't been so methodical in recording these, and I think now I need to do that. So I've set a few things up in OBS to record appropriately through different inputs, and so that I can do that at home and when I'm in the office to hopefully have a consistent approach. The other thing that I needed and realised was I needed to have a date and time displayed on every recording so that I can make sure that just by looking at them I know when they were done. So there's a few things and steps I'm going to do each time. Hopefully the audio will be pretty good and you can't hear too many screaming kids or music from the kids' bedrooms, but okay, so I'm going to talk through some of this. So it is, let me switch to, let's think about the best way. Okay, let's think about the way to do this. Okay, so I'm going to show you the app and just talk through some of it as well and talk about how you can get involved as well. Okay, so you should be able to see Firefox now. Okay, so this is currently looking at version 0.011. I'm trying to keep those updated, and this was updated on the 20th of August as well. So I'm going to make sure that you can see all of my screen, which I think at the moment I need to make this window slightly smaller. To there, yeah. Okay, there you go, so that's a bit better. Right, so that looks good. Right, so let's talk about what this tool is trying to do. So the idea here is we're going to create a digital tool that extends the Design Studio design thinking processes. So it's hoping that it will support collaborative, spatial, and messy working space for people to work together in the same physical space. So this tool is not a remote tool, and I'll talk about how it works to give you an idea of how it could work within a design education environment. This page here outlines some of the issues and things. If you want to give any discussion on the project, you can go to this link here, and all of these links are found by visiting Vue, which is vue.adamproctor.co.uk, and clicking on the About section. So you can discuss the project, you can read my blog, you can read some of the longer posts which are going to be more sort of single pages telling you about specific features and why they're here. So I'm going to do a series, I think, in certain things over the next sort of 6 months. So got some longer form writing, got some podcasts, and you can also review and look at all the code because it's all open source and is available for free to download, and you can also raise issues of things that you don't think are working, or ideas or concepts. Obviously this site is live, so you can come and add your own things, but just bear in mind that with the updates coming, that each update there's no stability, so things will be messed around with, and if you press these buttons at the bottom here, you will delete anything you have done. So that is good. Alright, so if I go to home, I'm just going to talk about what is happening here. So on the home page here, again, there's some of the warnings about it, but it just kind of gives you a little rough idea of what it is. So at this point, what you can do is you can name a device, and this is currently connected to an instance of a CouchDB. Now this CouchDB instance can be on a remote device, or it could be on a local device. And in particular, if you're using a Mac, you can actually turn on a local instance of CouchDB that everyone can connect to. However, all of the data is saved first locally into what is the thing that synchronizes to Couch, a thing called PouchDB. So as soon as you start working, all of the data, whether you're offline, is on your machine, or whether you're online, and it synchronizes when you have a connection to that remote database, and that enables people to work collaboratively together with one person being the sync engine effectively, but they wouldn't hold any more information than anyone else because everything is stored locally. And again, by deleting contributions here, that would remove it from everyone's instance. So the idea is that you can turn on an instance of CouchDB in a room with, say, 10 of you working on an idea you want to kind of investigate and to think about, and it will then sync that data between you in that room whilst keeping a local copy on your device. So as soon as you finish that session, you can go offline, you can it doesn't need to, you can be away from the master sync engine and you'll still be able to see all of that information. If you then connect again to that sync engine, it would show changes from the other devices. Okay. The idea is that you have control over your data. It's your data, it's on your machine, and you choose to synchronize it or not. And the data is anonymous in that at this point in time, and it probably will be going forward, that you can't tell who's contributing which piece necessarily. So I'm just going to go through a basic bits that's working on version 0.011 just to show you. So here I name the device. This is because I can have multiple devices connected to the same instance, and so every device has to have a unique name. And if I want to come back to the data here from another device, if I put in the same name, I would get the information synced, from the remote if I'm online. If I put in the same name here and I go offline, it keeps all that data locally. So hopefully that makes some sense. But I'm just going to give my device a name just for the purpose of testing. It's a brand new device. So I'm going to call it MacBook Pro. Okay. And then I'm going to hit Let's Go. Alright, so what this does now is this takes me to a view where I can see all the contributions to this instance. So there's a couple here, and I can actually see them spatially arranged here, and I could also see attachments here if there were any, which currently there aren't any, and I haven't uploaded anything myself. So I can do two things here. I can create or I can add attachments, and attachments can be a number of different things. So I'm going to make sure that I've got a couple of little attachments that I could possibly upload, which might be quite fun to demonstrate as well. Most of the images I've got tend to be, okay, let's take that as a JPEG, and I think that's another JPEG, and then let's find not that. Where is that, a PDF? That's quite a big one though. Oh, and I just take a PDF that I've got. Okay, so let's create a couple of objects and then I can add some attachments. So what I can do here is, at the moment, obviously this view is just a CSS grid. It gives me a list and it also gives me a spatial view, and then we're mainly going to be focusing on these two views here. So I can hit create and it will add a new object with the default text of edit me. And what I can do is I can edit this text to be whatever I want. So imagine this is like a note. So, create explainer video for 0.011 of node login. And then I can hit finish. And what you can see here is, here's the text just being displayed, and here is the object displayed spatially, so I can actually move this to anywhere on screen. And if I double tap on this, I can now edit that same text. Oh, what did I do? Okay, so I'm going to create another object, and this is going to be related to this. So say for example I'm doing an explainer video, I need to set up OBS. So finish. I'm going to move this over here for a minute. Move this to here and do another one, create, and I'm going to say add visuals for date and time. This is really important. Put that there. And I'll create one more, which is like set sources for office and home. So I'm working on a task here, which is this idea of creating an explainer video, and I'm thinking about what are the tasks and activities and things that I might want to create with it. Okay. So what I can do is I can double click these and you can see it gives me that information, so I can see what that is. Set sort, yeah. Okay, I'm going to create one more. This time it's going to be a link, and I'm going to have the link to the OBS Studio website, which it might not be that, but anyway, click finish, and you'll see that link is now a triangle, so it's slightly different visually. In fact, what that could be is the link that helped me to do the date and time. It was a forum post about how you can create that date and time at the top. So what I can now do is, I suppose I've got my screen a little bit small, so it's quite a bit jiggling around. I can start to connect these by tapping once onto each of them. And so let me double click that one to see what that's set up. OB sources, wasn't it? That's supposed to be sources. Finish, and this one seems to have lost the .com. So that's the main one. That is add date and time visuals. So I know that that one there needs to connect to this one here. So I'm going to click once, and now these two objects are connected because this link is important to me being able to do this data as visuals. I think also next time I'm going to make my Firefox window slightly smaller so it doesn't move around so much. So, and then this is the master node, which is the create explainer video. So I'm going to connect that to all of these. So click once, no, click, there we go. And then same with this, tap, tap, and then the same with this, tap, tap. I don't know why is it connected to that one. Why did it do that? Alright, cool. So now I can connect these objects together and I can now visually arrange them as I see fit. Okay, finish. Alright, and I'll just show you briefly adding attachments so you can see. So this could be a visualization of how a number of things might be connected together. And at the moment that's pretty much all it does. It just does the really basic sort of visuals. There's a lot of enhancing to be done in this, and also in terms of like how you review what is in each one. I mean, double clicking this junking around up here is obviously no good at this point in time. Let's add, go to desktop because I can, so I'm going to add a JPEG. And you'll see here that this JPEG image has been added with the title of it, and it's actually added as a object here. Let me add another, let's do a PDF. Here you can see a PDF has been added, and it's been represented by this generic icon. So we've got another two of these. These actually jump back to the start every time you upload. They're not, the positioning is different for attachments currently. And let's add one more image, add, and that's a picture there, and you can see there's another image. So you can see now I've got these three attachments. Cool, and again, if I wanted to, you know, I could attach these two together in that same fashion. Cool, and maybe that attachment needs to connect to this link. There you go. Alright, so that is the current state of play of version 0.011. So the idea generally is that when the interface starts developing more is that you might be working on a design problem or issue that you want to resolve, and the idea is that you can create a bunch of resources together and attach and link them in real time in the space. So you've got a shared knowledge web of information that you can then dive into and review. And if I was to go offline now, this data is all mine. I can see the arrangement that I've got here. I can edit and play with it, and then if I was to reconnect to the master, then it would get back together. It's quite difficult to explain it all, really. It's starting to come together, but it's slowly but surely. Okay, cool. So I think that will do for now, and hopefully at least there's some consistency starting to build up with these videos. Still got a few little tweaks to do to get it perfect, but it's one thing at a time, isn't it?